10, Armie Hammer. Armie Hammer made headlines early this year as some DMs were leaked on social media which showed Armie talking about his bedroom fantasies. Some of the things discussed in the messages were Armie's desire to eat someone, and some people, like ex-partners, have come forward with their personal accounts of Armie's fantasies. Because of this bombshell story, Armie has spent the last year losing work and watching his career fall to pieces. When the scandal first broke, he backed out of an upcoming film project alongside Jennifer Lopez in hopes to save his career, and he also dropped out of a series he was cast for Paramount+. Now he's out of work and he won't be finding any more anytime soon, as he's also been dropped by his agent and his personal publicist. Hollywood will definitely not be casting Armie in any upcoming productions unless he is able to rebuild his image after the scandal, and even then, it'll take a lot of work to get back in Hollywood's good graces. At number 9, James Corden. This year, people learned that they not so secretly hate James Corden. The amount of times I saw James Corden trending on Twitter for people just talking about how much they hate him kind of says a lot about the actor and his place in Hollywood. The actor and late night host got in a lot of scandals this year, as I mentioned in one of our other videos, so another one in 2022 is probably a guarantee at this point, and that just means trouble for James's career. So far, James has faced backlash for his undermining of his employees at his late night show. He's faced backlash for the Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts segment, as well as he's been known to use traditional Asian foods as part of the gross foods category. On top of that, he's faced a lot of scrutiny for his Golden Globes nomination for his role in the movie Prom, where he played a gay character, because people thought that he used too many gay stereotypes in his performance. On top of that, a number of people who have worked with him or have had encounters with the host have made a lot of negative comments about him, making him look like a pretty bad guy. The more bad press, the less people want to work with him, and because some fans have literally started making petitions to keep James out of certain big Hollywood productions, the executives might have to start listening to the fans and not hire James Corden. Before we carry on talking about the people Hollywood might not want to work with next year, why not take a moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and subscribe to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Gina Carano. Up next, we have another celebrity who has faced a lot of backlash this year for old Twitter posts. Known for her role on the Disney Plus series The Mandalorian, actress Gina Carano began to face massive backlash for her social media posts that exposed her ideals and opinions that some people took offense to. Though there were a few posts that garnered a lot of negative attention, such as her comments on putting your pronouns in your social media bio, the one that was seemingly the last straw for her Disney career was a post that compared being a Republican to being a victim of the horrors of World War II, saying that Republicans are being persecuted because of their political beliefs. A lot of people took offense to this and led to more backlash and to her getting exposed for her unpopular opinions. Other posts that caused Gina to face scrutiny include her tweets about voter fraud in the US, as well as posts mocking people who wear masks amidst the pandemic. According to a source, the people behind the Mandalorian series had been looking for a reason to fire Gina because of her controversial social media presence, and so this exposure was allegedly the catalyst that led to them firing Gina from her role. Because of the nature of this scandal and the offensive things that were said, Gina might find it hard to find work in the new year if people still haven't forgiven or forgotten about her latest scandal. At number 7, Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake started facing a lot of backlash this year, with fans of Britney Spears flooding his social media pages and demanding that he apologize after the way he treated her in the media after their breakup in the early 2000s. The Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released looked into the way that the pop star was shown in the media, from the paparazzi to interviews, and it dives deep into how this stardom affected her. A big part of the documentary explores Justin Timberlake's role in the media's mistreatment of Britney after their public breakup in 2002. After their relationship ended, Justin made Britney look like the villain in the relationship, accusing her of cheating and essentially weaponizing their breakup to boost his own career. This prompted the media to put a lot of blame and shame on Britney, who really didn't deserve it. Now that fans in the media are revisiting Justin's actions, there are a number of people calling for accountability, and this could hurt his career. Because of all of the drama that Britney faced this year, and combined with people digging into her past, the fact that Justin played a role in the media's mistreatment of the pop star may hurt his career and might make it harder to find work in the new year. At number 6, Jamie Lynn Spears. Another person whose career may be damaged after this drama with Britney Spears is her sister Jamie Lynn Spears, who got caught up in the scandal that was her sister's conservatorship case. There was a lot of family drama involved, as you could imagine, and instead of laying low, she stepped into the spotlight, and doing that attracted a lot of hate towards her. Many of Britney's fans criticized Jamie for not standing up for her sister and watching her suffer through the conservatorship for so long. Things took such a nasty turn for Jamie that it's damaged her relationship with Britney, and now with the massive amount of support that Britney had garnered over the last few months, an enemy of Britney is an enemy for everyone. Britney's fans are watching her sister like a hawk, waiting for one wrong move in order to cancel her, and this bad press probably wouldn't make Hollywood executives want to hire her over fears of bad publicity. At number 5, Chris Pratt. It seems like Chris Pratt is having a hard time in the media lately. Chris has been making headlines recently because people want him to be canceled. First, back in 2020, people were upset with the actor because he didn't publicly support Joe Biden, and a lot of people also took to criticizing his Christian faith. Now, someone's faith is no reason to hate someone, I will say, that is just absurd, but it still had a lot of people going off at him. On top of that, just recently, Chris faced backlash after he posted about his wife Katherine Schwarzenegger and how she gave him a gorgeous, healthy daughter, end quote. This had people running to his ex Anna Faris to support her because fans believed that Chris's comment was a dig at the fact that their son Jack was born premature and had to spend time in the NICU before being allowed to go home after he was born. People called Chris out for his choice of words, and they're using this as further fuel to use against the actor. I feel like with this tension bubbling up, 2022 might be the year that Chris Pratt actually gets canceled, and this might have a very big impact on his career. At number 4, Lea Michele. TV and Broadway actress Lea Michele was canceled in 2020 after a bunch of people came forward to expose her for her awful on-set behavior, and apparently she still remains canceled. Reports and accusations came out last summer detailing how she'd been known to disrespect people she's worked with in the past, and this all started at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement, where one of Lea's former Glee co-star Samantha Ware called Lea out on how the actress made her time on the show a quote, living hell. This ended up causing a chain reaction of other people coming forward to talk about their horror stories of working with the actress, with some revealing how she would disrespect and talk down to background actors on set, how she would delay production, and how she would refuse to talk to anyone face to face, and how she would even force them to speak with her assistant instead. Because of all this negative attention, Lea was canceled, and as I mentioned before, that cancel status still sticks. Lea hasn't been able to bounce back from that drama that went down last year, so 2022 might be another rough year for the actress's career. At number 3, Chris D'Elia. Another celebrity who might have a hard time finding work in 2022 is actor and comedian Chris D'Elia. The comedian remains canceled after he faced multiple allegations of misconduct and harassing girls online last year, and this whole scandal caused him to be essentially fired from Hollywood. After multiple women came forward to share their unpleasant experiences with the comedian, from unwanted advances to indecent exposure and gaslighting, Chris was caught and exposed for his actions, lost all support and credibility in the industry, and pretty much hit rock bottom. Though this scandal initially started last year, Chris is still facing more allegations in 2021, and a lawsuit was filed in early March accusing Chris of soliciting private photos from a young woman under the age of 18. Though this happened in 2014 when she was 17, she said that she was inspired by the other women who've come forward to tell her story and seek justice. Because he's been dropped by his talent agency and he's lost out on a Netflix special, it might be safe to say that he won't be working in Hollywood again anytime soon. At number 2, Ellen DeGeneres. Though many of us know Ellen DeGeneres as the famed talk show host, she is also an actress, having started her own comedy show as well as voicing Dory in Finding Nemo and Finding Dory. She certainly fits the criteria for this list, both for her work and for being canceled. Last year, Ellen was exposed for creating a toxic work environment on The Ellen Show, and she was the recipient of a lot of negative attention and backlash in 2020. Rumors started circulating about Ellen not being as nice as she's portrayed as on TV, and soon former employees started coming forward with their own horror stories about Ellen and the work environment that they had to deal with. There were allegations of racial microaggressions, discrimination, and harassment on the part of Ellen as well as other higher ups in the company. For For months, Ellen was being exposed for her toxic behavior, and she faced a lot of flack for it, having to issue multiple apologies to make up for things. Stars who had been on The Ellen Show in the past came forward to talk about their experiences with the comedian, and many interviews were being picked apart by people online, digging up moments that show Ellen in a negative light. Basically, Ellen got exposed to the max and she lost credibility, her show tanked, and now it's ending. And because of all this, no one knows what the future holds for Ellen. And finally, at number 1, Shia LaBeouf. From what we've seen in the news over the years and from what we've heard from other celebrities, I think it's safe to say that Shia LaBeouf isn't doing too great in Hollywood right now. There are a lot of people who are still fans of the actor, but after hearing about his questionable and sometimes downright disrespectful actions, idolizing Shia probably isn't the greatest thing. He is someone who's faced a lot of allegations as of late. Last year, Shia faced allegations from his ex-girlfriend FKA Twigs after she filed a lawsuit against him detailing some of the encounters that she had with him. Twigs alleged that he threatened to crash a car with her in it if she didn't profess her love for him, and claimed that he would sometimes grab her so hard that she would bruise. Even singer Sia came forward with her own allegations against the actor, saying that she too had been emotionally damaged by Shia. On top of that, he was fired by Olivia Wilde from the upcoming film Don't Worry Darling, due to his alleged bad behavior, as people have cited that Shia is, quote, not an easy guy to work with. Because of all this bad press, I think it'll be tough for Shia to find work in Hollywood next year. Before we wrap things up for today, I want you guys to leave a comment predicting which celebrities you think might be shunned from Hollywood next year. The entertainment industry is always changing, so leave your thoughts down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Bree Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends.
At number 10, Jussie Smollett. Former Empire star Jussie Smollett made headlines a little while back after faking an attack for attention. Jussie made a claim that he was attacked by a group of people as a hate crime, but after further investigation, it was discovered that the entire altercation was made up by the actor. As a result of the scandal that followed, Jussie was let go from Empire and has been hard-pressed to find work elsewhere. The reason why he made up this altercation was an attempt to get a pay raise from the producers of the show, as he was not happy with the salary that he was already making. Now, Hollywood executives know him as someone who will do some shady things to get what he wants, including filing a false police report and faking an assault just to get people to get him more attention. After the incident, Jussie started losing a lot of work, and his career hasn't really picked up much since, with some sources saying that he might be blacklisted. At this rate, 2022 might be as challenging as 2021 was for the actor, and Hollywood might not have a place for him in the coming year. At number 9, Johnny Depp. Actor Johnny Depp has really been going through it lately. He went through a high-profile legal case, and a lot of information was exposed, but even after the legal battle against the Sun publication was over, he started losing work. First, he was asked to step down from his role as Grindelwald in the upcoming Fantastic Beasts film, and fans found out that he had been blacklisted from Disney as well because of the scandal that is still ongoing with Amber Heard. Now, even though many people are siding with and trying to defend Johnny, it doesn't seem to be making much effect in Hollywood. Fortunately, because of Johnny's image and the media at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to book many roles in 2022. On top of that, he's still dealing with a lot of legal cases with Amber right now, so acting might not be his top priority at the moment. You might not see much from Johnny in 2022, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Before we carry on talking about some celebrities who might not find work next year, why not take some time to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the channel as well to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Bella Thorne. Bella Thorne is no stranger to having a bad reputation in Hollywood. She's been facing backlash since she was a Disney star, and things have just escalated from there. Because she's viewed by many as problematic, Hollywood may be hesitant to hire her for upcoming projects because of how people view her. Just in the last little while, Bella has been in the news for a number of scandals. Last summer, Bella faced backlash for her OnlyFans scam, where she scammed her fans into paying upwards of $200 for content that they weren't happy with, and even prompted a company policy change that affected other creators on the platform. She was also involved in some Twitter beef with her ex Tana Mojo because she released a diss track about her. And not too long ago, Bella also faced even more backlash as she publicly defended Armie Hammer and the leaked DMs that exposed his bedroom fantasies. Bella just has a way of rubbing people the wrong way, and since she's faced so much backlash just in the last year alone, I feel like Hollywood is gonna pass on her for a little while, so she might not book much in 2022. At number 7, Hartley Sawyer. Hartley Sawyer is one actor who might never come back to Hollywood after he got exposed for his incredibly offensive tweets back in 2020. Hartley, who's best known for having played Ralph Dibny, aka the elongated man on the CW's The Flash, faced a heck of a lot of backlash when many of his past tweets were brought to light. These tweets, which span as far back as 2009, highlight Hartley's offensive attempt at humor, many of them including racist, sexist, homophobic, and even violent messages. These tweets were brought to light during the Black Lives Matter movement that saw a big jump in support last summer, and as fans dug deep into many celebrities' lives, this was one of the biggest stories of celebrity exposure to come out during that time. As a result of these offensive tweets, Hartley was fired from his role on The Flash and hasn't been seen on social media since issuing an apology for his actions. Because of the reputation he now has for being offensive, combined with the fact that he's been out of Hollywood for so long, I have a feeling that Hartley won't be back in the spotlight for a long time, so 2022 might not be his year to return. At number 6, Stacey Dash. Known for her role as Dion in the 90s film Clueless, Stacey Dash rose to fame in the 90s, but since then she's hit rock bottom and is no longer welcome in the entertainment industry. Nowadays, the actress is known for being quite outspoken when it comes to her political views, and this is what led Hollywood to lock her out, so to speak, and she hasn't been in the acting world for years. Speaking out about her take on women's rights, Black History Month, segregation, and the quote-unquote bathroom bill, the actress has proven herself to be too much for even the likes of Fox News, for what she used to be a part of. Stacey would often come on air on Fox News to talk about whatever issues were being discussed, but in a turn of events, Fox News let her go after having gone too far with her words, especially in reference to the abolishment of Black History Month. Some people have said that her extreme beliefs are what stopped Stacey from receiving any roles, and she's even said that she was dropped by her agent for being too problematic. Her views on gay and trans rights, as well as her opinion on race in Hollywood, have ultimately ended her career as an actress, so she definitely won't be welcomed back to Hollywood in 2022. At number 5, Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson is someone who is notoriously hated in Hollywood for quite a number of reasons. He's no longer considered for any Hollywood roles and hasn't been for a while, and he only seems to make an entrance into the industry when directing his own films since other studios don't want to work with him. He's been the subject of a number of controversies, from that of The Passion of the Christ for being anti-Semitic to career-damaging freakouts, driving under the influence, and a number of people coming forward to discuss Mel's racist and anti-Semitic views. Though he continues to be cancelled in Hollywood, he attempts to make a return every so often, but again, only through his own work. He's been facing controversy for decades, and no one has really forgiven him, so he remains banned from Hollywood and essentially banned from all other media networks. As the new year approaches, I'm sure we can all agree that Mel won't be booking anything in 2022. At number 4, James Franco. James Franco has slowly been losing respect in Hollywood to the point where he's losing work and connections in the industry. Things started to go downhill for the actor back in 2014 when he got into a scandal after he tried sliding into a fan's DMs, only to find out that she was actually 17 years old. James met a girl visiting New York City at an autograph signing outside of his Broadway show, and the two took pictures together and she tagged him, which obviously led to him finding her Instagram and DMing her. The two talked for a bit, and after their conversation continued, James asked for her number, her age, her relationship status, and whether or not he should have booked a hotel room for the both of them. Luckily, nothing ever ended up happening between them, but the fan ended up exposing their conversation online, and James faced mild backlash. After that, people got a very different impression of the actor, and a lot of people started refusing to work with him as well. Because of his public image, he might not be seen in many productions in the new year. At number 3, Katherine Heigl. A lot of people don't like working with Katherine Heigl because of how rude she is. She's been known to be mean to people on set, have high demands, and just have a really bad attitude. She's known to be quite critical of the roles and material she's given, and she even brought this up when she withdrew from the Emmy nominations because she said that the material she was given for Grey's Anatomy didn't warrant an Emmy. That's certainly disrespectful to the writers, because for someone to say something like that implies that the writing wasn't good enough to please people, whereas the people at the Emmys thought it was worth the award. Katherine is also known to make ridiculously high salary demands, and apparently she's been doing this since before she became a big name in the industry. She's reportedly hired and fired a lot of publicists and assistants over the years, so she really sounds like quite the diva. Because of all this, directors and Hollywood execs don't want to work with her anymore because she's a nightmare to work with. People say that she's been blacklisted from Hollywood, so the chances of her booking anything substantial in 2022 are pretty slim. At number 2, Taylor Lautner. Taylor Lautner has been having a rough time in Hollywood lately. He's pretty much disappeared from the media, and many think that the actor has been blacklisted from Hollywood because no one wants to hire him. Since finishing up his time in the Twilight Saga, Taylor hasn't really seen much success. After the franchise ended, Taylor went looking for work, and at first, people were ready to offer him some good Hollywood parts. He was still a big name in the industry after he got so much fame from playing his character Jacob Black in the Twilight movies, but soon Hollywood executives realized that he's just not the powerhouse that they were expecting. The first few movies that he starred starred in Tanked at the box office, and between this and his high asking salary, no one was keen on taking a chance on the actor. In the years since, he's appeared on some TV shows like Scream Queens, but other than that, we haven't really heard much from him. He recently got engaged, so maybe he's just focusing on living a simple life for now, so maybe we won't see him come back to Hollywood in 2022. And finally, at number 1, Meghan Markle. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry made headlines this year after their interview with Oprah back in January. Since then, they've been in and out of the news, and a lot of people have wondered if Meghan will make her return to acting after leaving the royal family. She's already narrated a documentary about elephants that's on Disney+, but can we expect more from Meg? Well, the answer is maybe. Things might still be a little touchy with the actress and Hollywood because of all the drama surrounding her and the royal family, so we might not see much from her in Hollywood in 2022, but maybe sometime soon we will watch Meghan return to the spotlight once again.
Starting off this countdown, we have Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz has starred in a number of iconic movies, from The Mask to There's Something About Mary to Charlie's Angels, and how could we forget about Shrek? Sadly, it seems as if Cameron is over her acting days. She last appeared on screen in 2014 for the film Annie. 4 years later, in 2018, she announced that she has retired. She said that she didn't really miss performing, and as of now, she's just enjoying spending quality time with her daughter. And she loves having tons of time for herself. Who knows though, maybe in a couple more years she'll give acting another go. But as for now, she's set on her retirement. In our 9th spot, we have Jennifer Stone. Any fan of the old school Disney Channel days will recognize Jennifer Stone from Wizards of Waverly Place, where she plays the eccentric Harper. After her Disney Channel days, Jennifer went on to star in a number of TV miniseries and movies. In fact, she was even in a Christmas movie with the actor who played Ned in Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. Smash that like button if you remember that show. That's a throwback. Anyway, nowadays Jennifer has completely switched careers. She is now a registered nurse and is helping patients with COVID-19. That is incredible. Good for her. In our 8th spot, we have Jessica Biel. In an interview a couple years ago, Jessica revealed that it's getting harder and harder for her to get roles and to be cast. She claims that her good looks were holding her back. No word of a lie, she said that she was too pretty. Anyways, Jessica is still currently acting, but in more low-key roles. I believe her last big role was The Sinner in 2017. I mean, I heard it's a very good show, so props to her. But after that, it's been mainly voiceover gigs like in BoJack Horseman and Pete the Cat. Nothing huge and Oscar-worthy. Coming in at number 7, we have Lindsay Lohan. Honestly, Lindsay Lohan was responsible for some of the most iconic teen movies like Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, The Parent Trap, Get a Clue, Mean Girls, Freaky Friday, like the list goes on and on. So it's quite sad that we lost such a talented actress with tons of potential. Anyways, Lohan's drug addiction got to her and she kind of fell off the map. When she did try and get back into acting, she was hard to deal with on set and she was demanding and unprofessional. Then of course we had the reality show Lindsay Lohan Beach Club in 2019, and that only lasted 1 season. Now she's back out of the public eye again. Coming in at number 6, we have Terry Crews, another actor who has been in some iconic shows and movies. But after Brooklyn Nine-Nine ending, it doesn't seem like Crews has any more work lined up and ready to go. According to his IMDb page, he only filmed Brooklyn Nine-Nine this year, as well as voiced a character in the upcoming animated movie Rumble. This is unlike him, who is normally filming non-stop each year with multiple projects on the go. Hopefully we will be seeing more of Crews next year, but as of now he has no projects lined up. We're now at our 5th and halfway mark with Jack Gleeson, who you might recognize from Game of Thrones. If you're a fan of the show, then chances are you hated his character. But surprisingly enough, even after acting in such an iconic show, Jack barely got any other acting roles after Game of Thrones. In 2014, he was pretty discouraged by this and said he wanted to resign from acting to focus on his academics. He ended up taking a philosophy course in Ireland. When he announced his decision to take a break from acting, he said, and I quote, "I just stopped enjoying it as much as I used to, and now there's the prospect of doing it for a living, whereas up until now it was always something I did for recreation with my friends or in the summer for some fun. I enjoyed it. When you make a living from something, it changes your relationship with it. It's not like I hate it, it's just not what I want to do." But acting isn't out of the picture. He ended up opening a successful touring theater company and starred in the BBC comedy Out of Her Mind in March. He just won't be in the spotlight as much much as he was originally. Coming in at number 4, we have Freddie Prinze Jr. You might know him in I Know What You Did Last Summer, or maybe from his iconic role of Fred in the live-action Scooby-Doo. That right there is my childhood. He also appeared in a back-to-back role in Friends in 2002. Well, after appearing in season 8 of the show 24 with Kiefer Sutherland, Freddie said that he wanted to quit acting. According to him, and I quote, "I did 24. It was terrible. I hated every moment of it. Kiefer was the most unprofessional dude in the world. That's not me talking trash. I'd say it to his face. I think everyone that's worked with him has said that. Ouch." He continued on saying, and I quote, "I just wanted to quit the business after that, so I just sort of stopped." So a bad set experience is what triggered Freddie to stop acting. Nowadays though, he's a chef and released his own cookbooks. And he's married to Daphne from Scooby-Doo. Anyway, moving on to number 3, we have Taylor Lautner. After Shark Boy and Lava Girl and Cheaper by the Dozen, Taylor went on to star in Twilight, which is probably what he's best known for. Then he acted in Scream Queens season 2, which was interesting to say the least. After that, he kinda just fell out of the public eye. That was until recently when he announced his proposal to his now fiancée, Taylor Dome, meaning that they will both be Taylor Lautner if she chooses to keep his last name. It seems as if Taylor had a harder time transitioning from Twilight to more serious roles. It took a while, but his co-stars Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart both did it. Now it's time for you, Taylor. Moving on to number 2, we have Betty White, one of the purest souls out there. Betty White is just incredible, no one can deny that. And this queen is 99 years old, soon she'll be 100, which is hard to believe because she looks too good for her age. Anyway, Betty White has been slowing down on her work lately. Her recent credits are mainly voiceover work, but she has guest starred in a couple of TV shows and movies. But according to her IMDb page, since 2019 she hasn't done any work, which is completely acceptable. Like, this woman has been working since she was a teenager. I just need to know her secrets to living long and looking that damn good. And in our number 1 spot today we have Daniel Day-Lewis. Now this one is hard to believe. Daniel Day-Lewis is incredibly talented. He's got 3 Oscars, 4 British Academy Film Awards, and even got knighted by Queen Elizabeth II. But in 2017, Daniel Day-Lewis released a statement through his rep. The rep said, and I quote, "Daniel Day-Lewis will no longer be working as an actor. This is a private decision and neither he nor his representatives will make any further comment on this subject." This was announced not long after receiving an Academy Award nomination for Phantom Thread. Now, Lewis did go into semi-retirement in the 90s, so maybe that's what's happening again. He's just gonna take a little short break and then come back. Hopefully, he'll be back making movies in no time.
At number 10, we have Daniel Kim and Grace Park, who acted in the rebooted CBS action crime drama series Hawaii Five-0 from the start of 2010. For 7 long years, the duo played their characters Chin Ho Kelly and Konu Kolokoa until they were forced off the show in 2017 because of a contract dispute. Reportedly, Daniel and Grace were both looking to receive equal pay that their co-stars Alex O'Loughlin and Scott Conn were obtaining. It was stated that CBS would not waver their final decision and set a disclosed amount of 10 to 15% lower pay grade than their castmates. Eventually, CBS went on to write Daniel and Grace out of their show in the 8th season, and in it their removal was addressed in true drama show fashion during the premiere. Funnily enough though, it's said that the drama off screen was even juicier. Despite the network issuing glowing statements in regards to their departed stars, Grace was all but thrilled when Peter Lenkoff, her former showrunner, released a tweet with indications that Grace had left the series to focus on family. Grace detailed the occurrence by explaining how the situation felt very charged to her, as well as that she did not feel it was right of Peter to make a statement on her behalf, regardless of whether or not he had good intentions. She finalized by informing Deadline that she cared about Peter as an individual, but that she did not leave the show because of what he implied. At number 9, we have Valerie Harper's self-titled sitcom where she starred alongside Jason Bateman with high spirits due to the fact that the show's ratings were increasing. Valerie was said to be headed in a promisingly strong direction for its 3rd season, and Harper decided this was as good as any time to inquire about a raise. In accordance with People, by Valerie's 3rd year, she was contracted to receive $56,750 per episode, with an additional 10% of the show's adjusted gross profits. Rather, Valerie requested there be a new contract drawn of $100,000 and 35% of added profits instead. When the studio refused to play into Valerie's demands, she pulled out an old ruse that once worked for her 12 years prior as the star of Rhoda. For this one, her request for a raise was denied. She denied showing up for work until she got what she wanted. However, her holdout tactic was not successful the following time, as Valerie's production team agreed to terms of a new contract worth $65,000 per episode with 12.5% of profits. This is what sparked Valerie's return to set, but she was let go after filming a single episode. As a result, the Valerie writers killed off her character and rebranded the show as Valerie's Family for the 3rd season. The following season, the show got a new name once more called The Hogan Family, and while the sitcom maintained its popularity without its original star, Valerie's karma came in full circle when she successfully sued production on the grounds of wrongful dismissal. At number 8, we have the crazy saga of Marcus Chong and The Matrix. His story comes after the success of The Matrix when the film creators had pitched for a double sequel. The writing/director team of the Wachowskis initially wanted to reprise Marcus with a reported offer of $250,000, but Marcus was seeking a whopping $1 million, a seemingly bizarre negotiation tactic which presumably later backfired and got him removed from the franchise. He was killed off between the first and final movies. Allegedly, after asking for $1 million, Marcus's lawyer delivered an ultimatum to the Wachowskis in a letter. In it, a matching sum of $500,000 with added bonuses and promises to receive press premiere guarantees was offered, or oppositely, Marcus would do the movies for free. Following the latter, Marcus apparently publicly added that he was being threatened and spoke on the behalf of Andy Wachowski on a call, which brought about more drama and confusion. At one point, he was reportedly taken into custody for making threats and later unsuccessfully sued the production company and distributors of The Matrix. At number 7, we have Muppet star Steve Whitmire. Despite there being several reported reasonings for the Kermit the Frog voice actor and puppeteer's acts from Disney, the big deal breaker was supposedly money. Apparently, one of the reasons given for Steve's dismissal was his refusal to work on a specific project because of an alleged contract dispute. However, Steve told The Hollywood Reporter that he was a casualty of a classified contract dispute between AFTRA and Disney Labor Relations. According to THR, Disney and the Muppets studio, though, Steve's negotiation tactics pushed back production for many years, even going as far back as the Sesame Street days of voicing Ernie and Kermit. A source informed Gizmodo that he was let go for demanding too much money and not for focusing on the Muppets after Sesame Street. At number 6, we have former Family Matter actress Jamie Foxworth. Now, there's no hard confirmation from the cast nor crew as to why Jamie was ever dismissed, but there have been so many rumors stringed from her role's strange removal on the show, where her then character Judy exits a scene up the stairs in season 4 and never comes back down. According to FM's co-creator William Bickley, Jamie's exit came about because of budget considerations, but many allege that her mother was behind the actress's dismissal. A mysteriously reported BET article hinted that the responsibility should be placed on her mother and then manager Gwen Fox, in light of Jamie's contract not being renewed for demanding more money. The position Gwen held makes the story plausible, but regardless, Jamie's career never fully recovered from the early setback. Still, Jamie has kept a pretty lighthearted and humorous attitude about the entire ordeal. At number 5, we have Crispin Glover and why he never returned for the Back to the Future sequel. Crispin had switched out his story numerous times, but one standing point was the studio not meeting his pay demands. He explained in an AV Club interview how he was offered $150,000 to reprise his George McFly role, but this was far less than what co-stars Tom Wilson and Leah Thompson were working for. In the opinion of Crispin, the producers were trying to force him out and punished him with physically uncomfortable scenes for questioning the script. Crispin claimed he would have experienced whatever discomfort needed if he was being properly compensated. Therefore, when the actor tried his hand at negotiation, the higher-ups apparently lowered the amount even further, to an alleged $25,000 instead. Crispin chalked this up to them not wanting to work with him, yet The Hollywood Reporter featured a slightly different spin, where they spoke about Crispin not liking the ideal script, so he demanded $100 million to take the role back. According to Crispin, though, this alleged fabrication was merely a quote campaign smear tactic that he was supposedly asked to receive the same salary which Michael J. Fox was reigning in at the time. At number 4, we have crime scene investigation actors Jorja Fox and George Eads. The two stars of CSI faced intense behind-the-scenes drama while filming the show because they were both eventually removed after allegedly refusing to show up for filming. In accordance with People, both actors were dissatisfied with the results of their proposed raises of approximately $20,000 per episode. When the actors attempted to hold out for more, they got snipped out the equation. CBS's co-president Leslie Moonves made a point to state that a contract is a contract, contract, and that the company was maintaining the future of the network television business. Although there is a happier ending for this one, as both Jorja and George were invited to take their jobs back, but their rehire came with some new ground rules. The raises initially offered were revoked, resulting in the actors' negotiation tactics costing them an approximate $1.76 million. Big yikes. Even worse, George once claimed he wasn't even being petty and that he merely overslept when he didn't show up to work, rather than the hinted monetary gain story that was originally created. At number 3, we have iconic Disney star Hilary Duff, who was a staple for all early 2000s preteens with her crimped hair and then sweet style. The reason why Hilary and Paulo's Lizzie McGuire 2 manifestation didn't play out in real life was because of reported money disputes. Without Hilary, there would surely be no Lizzie, and apparently Hilary wanted more than what she was making then. According to Entertainment Weekly, the LM franchise closed off when Susan Duff, Hilary's then momager, refused Disney's deal for a sequel. Reportedly, Hilary was offered $500,000 in bonus for the second film if the first film surpassed $50 million. This was said to be a huge increase from the $100,000 bonus Disney originally offered the pair, along with part of a $4 million offer for its sequel, quote, against 4% of the studio's gross for the film. In full, Hilary's Lizzie payday exceeded this, but her mother expected the bonus to come immediately as opposed to waiting. In retaliation, Disney withdrew their deal completely while effectively axing the Lizzie McGuire franchise. In light of the incident, Susan said to Entertainment Weekly how Disney tried to, quote, bully them into what they wanted and was unsuccessful. So in turn, she and her daughter turned away from a sequel while the company ditched an entire series. At number 2, we have Walking Dead Maggie's actress Lauren Cohan. Lauren's character was surely a staple in the WD franchise for nearly a decade, but in 2018 AMC had to complicatedly decide to give in to the actress' then contract demands or remove her from her role. In her Entertainment Weekly interview, Lauren admitted that she was taken aback by her negotiation, which indicated that maybe it was time to leave. She recalls being baffled and feeling like it was just not a fit anymore, due to her and AMC not lining up in so many ways. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Lauren was already actively seeking new jobs around this time and was receiving multiple. As a result, she was no longer a part of the Walking Dead series, but the final decision to let her go was unusually a huge departure from that of the comic book series on which the show bases itself, though not entirely unlikely. However, Lauren could potentially see the return of her character Maggie in the future, despite her character being offed, as her ending was technically left up in the air. At number 1, we have Iron Man actor Terrence Howard, whose leave is somewhat of a sticky situation. It's difficult to say for certain if he was fired or pushed out, but no doubt his demise in the Iron Man franchise had the same end result. While Terrence starred in the first Iron Man film and was reportedly making more than leading actor Robert Downey Jr., he was excluded from the second, and apparently there are several reasons. The main one stemmed from an alleged battle over pay. Despite him being the big bill topper in the first film, Robert Downey soon copped the title of the world's highest paid actors for Forbes for 3 consecutive years, and moved into Terrence's money spot by the time of the second film. Terrence's top spot of $3.5 million in pay supposedly stemmed from the combination of risk associated with the Robert Downey bets at the time, as well as his Oscar nomination for Hustle and Flow. In Terrence's explanation, the reason behind Robert's earning so much in the subsequent Iron Man films is alleged because the studio was borrowing from Terrence to pay Robert, and he further claimed that he was set to accumulate $8 million for the second movie. Instead, Marvel Studios supposedly reworked their offered contract and reduced it to $1 million, with plans of using the remaining dough to pay Robert. Finally, once Terrence pushed back, Marvel rumoredly closed their deal entirely and hired Don Cheadle in place of Terrence. That concludes today's BTS. Again, I've been your host, Michaela, and I'll see you all again really soon.